Imagine this. In Tokyo, a man burdened by a suffocating job, a crumbling marriage, and a relentless demand for perfection in a city that never sleeps, one day decides he's had enough of the game. He doesn't just quit, he erases himself. No farewell notes, no melodramatic exits, no divorce. Just one final ride into the Tokyo night. He's gone, swallowed by the urban maw to begin again. Or a housewife from Osaka who finally decides to just walk out of her life. Driven by the despair of an abusive marriage, she leaves her home by moonlight. The next day, she arrives in a faraway coastal town. It is quiet here, and nobody recognizes her. As time passes, her previous existence slowly becomes a distant, discarded skin. A young father in Kyoto, fired from his engineering job, is too ashamed to tell his family. Each morning, he puts on his shirt and tie, kisses his wife goodbye, and drives in the direction of his office. But without a place to go, he stews in his car all day, sometimes staying late to give the impression he is drinking with colleagues. Eventually, with no salary forthcoming, he can no longer continue to lie. Instead, he vanishes, fleeing to a place known as Sanya, a district apparently so secret and shameful it has been scrubbed from Tokyo's maps. These are the stories of the Johatsu, the people who disappear. Johatsu is a Japanese word that literally translates to evaporation. It refers to people who intentionally vanish from their lives without a trace. The Johatsu aren't driven by romantic ideals of seeking adventure on the open road. They are escaping the crushing weight of societal expectations, the chains of conformity that Japan wraps so tightly around its citizens. They are rejecting not just their immediate realities, but the entire edifice of social structure. Cities like Tokyo, with its labyrinthine streets and teeming masses, provides the perfect backdrop for this vanishing act. It's a city of paradoxes, where tradition and modernity collide, where ancient temples stand in the shadows of gleaming skyscrapers. It's a place where one can be utterly alone in a crowd. For the Johatsu, Tokyo is both prison and sanctuary, a city that consumes and conceals in equal measure. Entire industries cater to this desire for disappearance. Black market specialists, private detectives turned accomplices, landlords who ask no questions, all playing their parts in this clandestine process. One of the first stops on the road to vanishing is the Yoniji-ya, or night movers. For a fee, they will move you in the dead of night, taking only what you can carry, erasing every trace of your former life. These shadowy figures, operating in the interstices of legality, specialize in the art of vanishing. They provide safe havens, new identities, and the logistical support to melt away into the ether. It's a ballet of deception and reinvention, where every step is choreographed to perfection. Yoniji-ya are relatively accessible, and some have their own websites. You could be charged between $450 and $3,000 American dollars for a service, which depends on a number of factors: the amount of possessions, the distance, if it is a nocturnal move, if children are included, and if the client is evading debt collectors or an organized crime gang. The Johatsu are the casualties of Japan's relentless march towards modernity. They are the ghosts in the machine haunting the edges of a society that would rather forget them. The Japanese government doesn't acknowledge these people. Officially, they don't exist. It's easier that way to maintain the facade of a perfectly ordered society. It's a dirty secret, whispered in the back alleys and smoky bars, a parallel world coexisting but never intersecting with the world they left behind. In this shadow realm, the rules are different. There's a code of silence, an unspoken understanding among the disappeared. Trust is a rare commodity, hard-earned and easily lost. The Johatsu learn to navigate this terrain, forging new lives out of the remnants of their old ones. And what of the families left behind? The mothers, fathers, spouses and children who wake up one morning to find their loved ones gone without a trace. They are the collateral damage, the unintended victims of this mass exodus. The psychological toll is immense, a never-ending cycle of grief and bewilderment. It's a ripple effect spreading outward from the point of disappearance and touching everyone in its path. In Japan, the topic of Johatsu is taboo in regular conversation. Furthermore, an official database of missing persons does not exist. The Missing Persons Search Support Association of Japan, a non-profit dedicated to supporting families of the Johatsu, estimates hundreds of thousands of people go missing each year. Detective agencies are sometimes used to find people who have chosen this path. Johatsu might be discovered gambling at pachinko parlors, hiding in cheap hotel rooms, and at times, in despair, they can be found to have died by suicide. Sanya, a skid row in Tokyo that previously housed thousands of day laborers, is reported to be a popular place of hiding. Kamagasaki in Osaka is another neighborhood where it is possible to live without an ID. These communities are often Yakuza strongholds. Jobs will pay cash in hand. Questions will not be asked. A person can become a non-person, absorbed into a kind of subsistence. Many times, especially in the setting of Japan's strict privacy laws, the missing are unable to be found. Most Johatsu court cases are civil cases, and personal data is not easily accessed. The police will initiate an investigation only if the relatives can bring clear evidence that there has been a crime or a suicide. Otherwise, no case file is opened for a disappearance. Add to this the shame for families of having a missing person among their closest relatives. Their disappearance is often not reported. They are kept in the dark. If someone decides to become a Johatsu, the likelihood of ever seeing or hearing from them again is slim. In a society like Japan's, people who do not want to be found rarely are. Hidden worlds are a part of Japanese popular culture. Elephants vanish, and women climb down ladders into parallel realities in Haruki Murakami stories. In Mario games, the titular plumber squeezes through drain pipes into netherworlds populated by angry turtles. The country's highest-grossing film, an animation feature about a family trapped in a supernatural world, is called Spirited Away. In Japanese fables, the term kamikakushi refers to the mysterious disappearance or death of a person after they have angered the spirits. There are numerous legends of humans being abducted to the spirit world. Kami are the deities, divinities, spirits, mythological, spiritual or natural phenomena that are venerated in the Shinto religion. They can be elements of the landscape, forces of nature, or the spirits of venerated dead people. Kami are not separate from nature, but are of nature, possessing good and evil characteristics. They are manifestations of Musubi, the interconnecting energy of the universe, and are considered exemplary of what humanity should strive towards. Kami are believed to be hidden from this world and inhabit a complementary existence that mirrors our own. Could the Johatsu be the victims of evil spirits meddling with the course of their lives, pushing them into a corner where it feels like the only option is to press the button and eject themselves? It is not uncommon for a person who chooses to disappear to later find themselves becoming a night mover themselves, helping others to take the same path, a journey they know intimately. They know the dangers of discovery, the loneliness. They become a facilitator of this life choice, a ward for other lost souls. People fall through the cracks of society all over the world. It is not unique to Japan, but there seems to be an inbuilt remedy to a person's perceived failure in the culture. If you cannot keep up with the demands of the machine, there is a corridor out into the shadows. You can slip away and society will avert its gaze. But you will rarely get a second chance, and you might just be condemned to live forever on the fringe of life without a road back. The Japanese culture, sekentai, basically means keeping up appearances. Pride and honor rule above all, and shame is a very heavy burden. The Johatsu are a mirror reflecting the dark side of this relentless pursuit of perfection. They are the unspoken tragedies of these demands, the forgotten, the lost, the evaporated. Amidst the bustling crowds and neon, they move through a constant liminal space. They remain on the precipice of something new, but are never allowed to be fully alive participants in the world. If you got this far and liked the video, please do feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and of course give me some feedback in the comments. That way I'll know that people are watching and engaging with the material I put out. I really do appreciate your time, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time.